All right, and now with us, the Palestinian ambassador to Nigeria, His Excellency Abdullah Shawish, joins us now from Abuja. Ambassador Shawish, Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. Let me commence with our first question. How do you interpret the attacks in Israel by Hamas and the reprisals by the Israeli Defense Forces in Gaza this weekend? What's your take on it?
Thanks. Thank you so much for having me today with you in this live review. Indeed, before I go to reply to your question, it's a must and I should comment, or shed some light on the report that you already, on your TV, already mentioned. Report. This is the typical narrative of the Israeli and the Western report, unfortunately, that we face it. Everything that you mentioned, as if this portray the issue as if it is just started last Saturday. All the problematic issues started by the Palestinian just last Saturday. No, I would like to say that this issue was lasting for more than 106 years ago, when the United Kingdom itself was issued a notorious declaration of Balfour, or the Balfour Declaration, which is a very notorious declaration. In this declaration, the United Kingdom gave our land, our historical land, Palestine, to the Israeli or to the Jewish at that time. Then this issue was escalated and elaborated more and more till we reached the 1948 Nakba. We call it in our Palestinian literature a Nakba, when in this at that time Israel declared the establishing of the state of Israel, or the Jewish declared the establishing of the state of Israel, and ethnically cleansed the majority of the Palestinian people. Approximately 950,000 Palestinians was completely expelled from their historical land and became refugees. 531 village and town was completely uprooted from the ground and completely destroyed. And then after 19 years after the Nakba in 1967, Israel was occupied the remaining part of the Palestinian territory, so that this is the issue where we should start discussing what is happening 2 days ago or 3 days ago. The 2 days or 3 last Saturday is a consequence, is another step of the Israeli escalation, of the Israeli aggression against the Palestinian people. This is how we, as a rational people, we should start talking about the root and the cause and the root of the problem. Not to say that just last Saturday some Palestinian was attacking the Israel. No, there is a continuous occupation. There is a continuous Nakba since 75 years ago, a continuous occupation since 56 years ago. I personally born in a refugee camp under the Israeli occupation. All of my life I lived it under the Israeli occupation. This is the starting point. Then we can, if we will be honest enough, we should start from this point, not starting only the 3 days as if we woke up just 3 days and this problem was happened. Other issue, why we will not going to start measuring the current situation only one day, last Friday, when the Israeli occupation and the Israeli military force in the West Bank was killed 7 Palestinians. Why we are not going, or just 10 days or 1 week ago, when the Israeli radical or the Jewish radical and fanatic gangs who's patrolling East Jerusalem, the old city, was spitting and stabbing the Christian Palestinian and the Christian visitor. And why all of you in the Western media need to stress that as if this is happening? Just we woke up, we sleep last Friday and everything is in a very good situation. Then we woke up in this catastrophe. This catastrophe is running long time ago. It was not happened just a few days ago. It's the last Saturday is another step of the Israeli escalation. This is the starting point, and this is the exact point where we should start discussing and shed light on the current situation.
Your Excellency, thank you for expressing what you feel the narrative should be, in contrast to what you feel that you have been hearing on most major media streams. My next question to you is from the international reaction, to the Hamas attack. We hear people around the world, leaders reaffirm Israel's right to self-defense. There are also media reports that say Palestinians around the world are praising the attacks and believe it's a revenge for all of Israel's attacks on the Palestinian people in Gaza since the start of this conflict. What do you have to say about that?
Particular issue. The first one, it's not Hamas. Again, don't just stress only Hamas and Hamas. This is the Palestinian people is trying to liberate themselves, whether they are Hamas, Jihad Islami, or any fraction. This is the Palestinian people. Don't corner just one fraction of the Palestinian. This is the whole entire Palestinian people in this situation. Second point that I would like to stress on it, again, yes, there is a lot of countries, Western countries in particular, align themselves with the Israeli occupation. I did not say with Israel, align themselves with the Israeli occupation and saying something we used to hear it all of the time. Israel had the right to defend itself, but they did not complete the issue. And the Palestinians have the full right and the legitimate right to defend it, to defeat, to resist this brutal occupation. This is a very basic human right, to defeat this brutal occupation. This is the second point. The third point that I would like to shed light on it is what about that? This is not only some countries aligning, or many countries, the Western countries in particular, aligning themselves with the Israeli occupation, but still there is many countries, many people, all the freedom fighters, all the freedom letter, all the regular people, reasonable people all around the world is aligning themselves with us as a Palestinian people, not because they are hating Israel or against Israel, because we are on the exact right, in the right side of the history. This is the 3 points that I would like to shed light.
Thank you for that point, Your Excellency. There have also been calls on both sides to cease attacks. But to some, these are not realistic calls. Hundreds of people have died. People claim on both sides, and the Arab League says the wars will continue as long as the Palestinian problem remains unsolved. Your thoughts on that?
When someone wants to be ambiguous enough, he used to say both sides should cease fire. Could you compare the military fire between the Palestinian faction, the Palestinian completely seized people in Gaza, with the Israeli army, which is completely supported by the United States, which is completely supported by Western countries? Is there a rational comparison between those two types of forces? So that it's not fair when someone is calling for the ceasefire between the both sides. If there is a call for the ceasefire, it should be directed to the Israeli side. If there is a call for the ceasefire, this call should be directed to the Israeli, and the essence of the ceasefire should be to put an end once and forever to the Israeli brutal occupation. This is the exact meaning of the ceasefire. But to tell the Palestinian who is defending themselves, you should cease fire, what do you mean by ceasing fire? Do you know how many Palestinians was killed since the very morning, just this exact morning? Do anyone know how many families, complete family was completely, entire families was completely uprooted, was completely ripped from the world, was completely killed? This is the point. When we want, because wording have a meaning, when you call for ceasefire between two sides, this means that there is an army is against the other army. There is some Palestinian who is carrying very tiny, nothing comparing to the Israeli side. If there is a need to be a call for a ceasefire, it should be directed to the Israeli operations.
All right. Thank you again, Your Excellency, for speaking with us. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you so much for that.